What you do, it is not in vain. God in heaven keeps track of everything that has been done, and especially for the children. We should be so conscious on taking care of our children, love them, let them realize that they were created with a purpose. It wasn't a mistake that they came onto this world, but God knew that they were coming, and God put sufficient provision for each one of them. And most of the children that I could even identify were some of the children that I went to school with their mothers. And I'm so proud to say that already they have finished university. They have graduated. I have 3 engineers. I have a teacher.
Have you ever picked like really little babies, like 2 months, 3 months, and how do you go about it?
Yeah, the baby now was about, she was about 2 years. Today she's 2.5 and she can now speak friendly. Our case was defilement. It was defilement. Yes, a 2-year-old, it was defilement. And like somehow she was traumatized because she couldn't even speak.
Mbithe TV, spilling the tea, setting the trends.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear Mbithe digital media viewer, depending on where you are and your time zone. This is yet another episode of Mbithe Exclusives, and today we are somewhere in Athi River County, and to be precise, we are at Nuru Children's Home. We have come for a very moving story of one Florence who picked 10 street children, and today they are big people in the industry, in various industries in the country. So we just want to get the inspiration behind this and how he's managing the children's home. How are you, Florence?
I'm fine, thank you so very much for coming.
You're doing good?
I'm well, I thank God. Thanks.
Okay, so I got your story. It's a story of you got 10 street kids,
Yes.
and then you started this children's home. Today we are seeing it's something so big. So we just want to understand what was the inspiration behind starting this children's home?
Well, yes, let me just start by saying I am so passionate about children. Besides the fact that I have my own 3 biological, and by extension I have 86 currently. And we have children from the ages of 2 months to 23 years. Now the ones that we've just spoken about, the pioneers, the ones that are in university currently, and others have just cleared their, schooling. And really, I may say that I didn't know whether it was my passion doing children. I just realized very late that it was a call and an assignment from God. Therefore, let me just state that I started just getting so much close to children. And later, when now my father passed on, that is when now the passion geared up. And I realized I need to be closer to the children that are vulnerable, orphans, abandoned, and let them realize that there is a future and there is a destiny.
Okay, so how did you meet these first 10 kids you used to start your children's home?
Every time as I was going to work, I could see them just, crossing the roads, barefooted, very early in the morning, with no pullovers, no jerseys. And I got so concerned, I got so moved. Like I wondered why the children are not in school. And I had an interaction one-on-one at some point, and they ended up telling me, "Ma'am, you know what? I was just out of school because of tuition fee." And I'm like, "How much is the tuition fee?" They ended up telling me it is 10 shillings, others 20 bob. And I got so concerned. Only 10 bob. Are you sure? I asked. If I give you the 10 bob, you'll go back to school. They told me, no, it's a whole term. So a whole term means it's 900 shillings. And at some point I said, I think these children need a lot of help. So that is how I got started up.
Okay, so where were you working that you got to meet these kids?
I was in Insurance Plaza. That is where I was working. And every morning as I was going to Nairobi to work, I could see them pass, from all over, just walking around the stage, borrowing some few things from passers-by, from people they know or even unknown. And I really got so concerned about it because I wondered how and other children are in school. And most of the children that I could even identify were some of the children that I went to school with their mothers. And I knew very well their mothers had already passed on. due to alcoholism, due to you know, so many issues. Others were so vulnerable in different ways. So I knew they were total orphans. Others I knew they were so needy, and this really touched me and moved me.
And so when you picked them, where did you take them? Did you take them to your home, or you established a place?
Yeah, I should have said that after I identified those children, I did talk to them and gave them let me say, and I asked them we meet right where they told me that they were carrying scrap metal to go and sell, because that is what they told me. We always make a living out of collecting the scrap metal and selling it. You know, they call it in Swahili kuchemba chuma. So I asked them where, and they were so precise. It is right here in the slum of Bondeni slum, and I knew the yard where they were selling the scrap metal. And I asked them, can we meet on a Saturday? And they said yes. So when I came that Saturday, because that time was on a Thursday, when I came on Saturday at 8, I found there were so many, because they'd done a big network, you know, because they knew definitely there's something they could feed, or I could give them a present or a gift. So they came so many. And that is the time I started, you know, bonding with them. And I made it, and you know, I made it a system that I be coming to speak to them every Saturday. That is how I ended up getting a place to just get a place to rent. I got some place to rent.
In Nairobi?
And not in Nairobi, right there in the slum. A mabati house. I did the partition such that one side they could be sleeping, then the other side we could be doing other activities like cooking, you know, sitting together, and that is how I began.
And where did the name Nuru came from?
Well, Nuru for me meant light, you know, getting them from the darkness to light. And exactly that is our vision, that we let them realize that God loves them, God has a purpose for them, and God really wants them to become future leaders, to amount to something in future. So I knew Nuru will mean that it is right from the darkness, from the cages where they were, and with no hope, to some place where they have hope.
And how was the journey with these 10 kids right at the slum, and to your transition to this place?
It has been a challenge. The journey has been full of challenges, because at some point they could just go back to the streets. They ran from school, get back to the streets. There are times they could also pick things from neighbors, and it could be chaos. There are times they became so emotional because they needed to see their families. I didn't know where they'd come from, because they used to tell me that some came from Nairobi, really in the slums of town, Kawangware. Others could tell me they come from Mathare, and I didn't know exactly where they came from. So it was a challenge, especially when they were so emotional. They wanted to see their families, and I also didn't know where precisely they were coming from. And also, you know, mentoring them was an issue, because they didn't have a father figure. It was just a mother figure at that time in point. And again, there are times you had to teach them basics, like say sorry when somebody wrongs you. Again, just knock when you want to enter to some place, you know. Just say thank you when you appreciate somebody, because for them, those vocabularies completely didn't exist. So it was a challenge trying to educate them basics, let alone anything else, but the basics, asking them not to take somebody's items without their permission, because for them picking and going was their norm, and for them it was okay. You know, it was just a journey full of challenges before they realized they need to style up and become people who really make sense to the community and get appreciated in the community as well.
Okay, for those who are running away, how are you getting them back, and did you lose some in the process?
Oh yes, I lost like 4 of them in the process. There are others who completely didn't come back at all. I may not really understand exactly where they went, but I had rumors that they went back to the streets of Nairobi. And the ones that were within at River, I added up, you know, tracking them, because they went back to the streets just to collect the metal, come and sell, go back again, collect the metal, come and sell. So I got them right in the streets of the river. Then after speaking to them, they got back. And I'm so proud to say that already they have finished university. They have graduated. I have 3 engineers. I have a teacher. And I also have a designer, fashion designer, and a chef. I also have a girl who has done criminology amongst them. And I thank God, because right now it is well.
Okay, and how are you taking care of these kids? I know they have several needs. They have to go to school, they have to eat, they have to, you know, the basic needs. Do you have people you are partnering with or sponsors?
Yes, I had friends and mostly well-wishers. Let me say, we purely rely on well-wishers until to date. People, you know, came in and really assisted a lot in, you know, buying the stationaries, bringing in the clothes and the ad foods. And also our county government provided bursaries. Our MP gave us some bursaries for the ones in secondary school. Our county government has also been issuing, you know, checks for bursaries for most of them in universities. And like that is how we really sailed through. Yes.
And I've seen you have some classes around. You have grade 1, 2.
Sure.
Where are you getting teachers? Are you paying the teachers from your pocket?
The teachers are paid by well-wishers again. We have a group of women in Mavuno Church who pays our staff. We have some Asians who also came in and are paying the teachers. And basically, they are currently being paid by well-wishers. Unlike previously, 2 years ago, we didn't have anyone to cater for them. They were volunteers. I thank God I've walked the journey with a few who really were so passionate about working with us and who really gave their all just to serve the children. But today, at least they've gotten people to just give them little, because I just can't say they are well paid. It is just a little to sustain them and pay their houses. Just to maintain them, yes.
And if somebody wants to bring their child, okay, they have picked an abandoned child, because you've said not all kids who are here are orphans. If somebody wants to bring a child to Nuru Children's Home, what is the process?
The procedure definitely is through either the community policy. The community policy comprises of the chief, sub-chief, and even the village elders. And then we again have the children department that normally commits the children here through a written material. You know, they do a letter, and committal letter we call it, and then they ask us to just keep them, to take custody of them for some given duration. And probably if it's a case in court, or even if it is lost and found, when the child is able to get back, then they ask us to take the children to the office, and then they are given back to the community, or rather they are given back to their parents. And we also have the police. Mostly police bring in the lost and found. Yes, lost and found, and they put them here temporarily as they await for just being taken back to their homes. We also have, let me just say, we also, the other organ that brings the children is the chief and the sub-chief. The community policy, the children officer, the court, and the, you know, the chief and the sub-chief. Yes.
And have you ever picked like really little babies, like 2 months, 3 months, and how do you go about it?
Yeah, I recall at one incident that a child was dropped right in our gate. The child was just a few days after she was born, and therefore she was abandoned there right at the gate. And I knew this person wanted us to take care of the child. So what happened, I got the child, took her to the hospital just for checkup, you know, if she was okay, then headed on to report the case to the children officer and therefore to the police. I was given an OB number and asked to take care of the baby. Today, she's 5 years old, and we call her Baby Gift.
Baby Gift.
Yeah, and she's doing very well, very brilliant, so charming, very bright, intelligent girl, and lovely girl. Yes.
So you get a mother to take care of these little babies, or you do it by yourself?
Yeah, we have some caregivers. Yeah, who normally takes care of the little babies, like now the little ones that we have right now. The siblings, they are twins, by the way. They are taken care of by a certain lady who somebody thought that it was so overwhelming for us, and they decided to just hire her on our behalf to take care specifically of the little babies from the ages of 1 year and below, because we have currently 4 of them.
And this thing, I know it's not easy, taking care of somebody, somehow mentally disturbed. Do you have special cases, first of all?
Yes, we do. We have 4 special cases. 3 girls, 1 boy. 2 girls are teens. 1 girl is a baby. It's a baby, and then the boy is also a teen. When they came, they weren't even talking. They could hear what we tell them, but they couldn't really even alter a word completely. And after a few days, I noticed that they started, doing some gesture, take this, and finally today they can even speak.
When they came in, they were how old?
The girl, the baby now was she was about 2 years. Today she's 2.5, and she can now speak friendly. Our case was defilement. It was defilement. Yes, a 2-year-old, it was defilement. And like somehow she was traumatized because she couldn't even speak. And she ended up just fearing everybody who was coming closer to her, especially male. And she didn't want to have anything. She didn't want to associate. She didn't want to be, impressed by a man. And she was so traumatized. But now she's okay. We have counselors who come in and speak to them, talk to them, and I see it work.
And did you get to know the accused person?
Well, the case is still in court, and we are yet to know the way forward. Yes.
There's an accused person who has been brought on board.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
At any point, have you ever felt like giving up? Because I know it's not easy.
Well, I also go for counseling sessions because number one, it's so traumatizing. I become so emotional. Such stories of defilement really touch me to the core. And I bleed internally mostly. And at some point I was carrying the burden of the children, until I started creating some hatred towards certain people, and especially male. I started being a bit, reserved, hostile, and such like things. So I had to go for counseling. Again, I could also cry as they narrate their stories, instead of, impressing and telling them that it is well. I would also cry as they cry. You see, now I wasn't really helping them at that point. So I ended up going for counseling sessions. As much as they're also going for the counseling session, I'm also attending. And also, there are times I felt so overwhelmed, like I needed to just have some time to air out and wind, like to relax my mind. There are those times, and oh yes, you need to take some off. Though even when I'm out there, I just want to take some little break. And right in my house, I keep on calling until I end up in the evening coming back. After I've been told just to go air out, have some break, I also end up coming back. I have that attachment a lot. And I think it is always very good to work with some limit. All what I could say, I can't tire. I can never give up. I can't just do anything else. I have to do children. I have to do what I do. I love it passionately. Yeah, even though it's a bit tiring because there are no breaks, no holidays. Teachers go back home when it's holidays. Like 3 times a year. For us, it's full time. And especially now when the schools close, like now, it's so much committing. We are so much into it because there's no break. You have to be there to give guidance to the teens, to just check on them every other time because we have cheeky ones. We have different children from all over. You need to get to know them, learn them, you come closer to them, bond with them, and be there for them.
And you said when you are off, you still call.
Yes.
You know, you keep calling.
Yeah, I keep
and then
calling.
you end up coming back.
Oh, yes.
Does it mean you don't have an assistant? Or
Well, we have 6 staff. I trust them to maximum. But again, I wanted you to realize that this my call. I don't want to say that they are here because of money. But what I can do, honestly speaking, someone else may ignore to some point. Like, let me say, you can get tired if this is not your vision. You can at some point get tired because they are jumping up and down. You will let the girls interact in the wrong way, and we are in the slum, you know. They'll even at times lie to you that I'm going to see this and this, and they end up going because you want to relax a bit. They'll go to the field, interact with the wrong people. Then the babies will oversleep, and no one to wake them up to feed them because most of them are malnourished. They need to take their medicine on time. So I keep on, you know, tracking and following, doing a follow-up. And at times, they'll start asking, mommy, you know, they'll ask the matron to give them their phone. And then, mom, why can't you just come? We are missing you, mom. And I'll tell them, I'm also missing you, I'm on my way. Yeah, so that happens a lot when I'm within, yes.
Okay, and have you ever had any pregnancy case or you've had somebody running mad when inside here?
Yeah, for madness, not really, but pregnancies, we've had cases from out, they're brought here, while they are even almost due to. Yeah, so they are brought from out when they are expectant, and they've given birth here. So we have 5 cases of girls who came while they are almost, and they are almost due to their time, and they give birth to the babies. Others leave and, you know, run away, and they leave us with the babies. 2 of them have run away and left the babies on our custody. Yes.
Okay, are you a family person, and how is your husband supporting you in this whole journey?
That may be a bit personal, but let me say I'm a single mother. Yes, and for me, it has been well. It has been well. I have my 3 children, as I stated, and they know that I love doing this passionately. And besides doing this, they also support. My last born son is taking business, not really business, but community works and services. That is what he's doing in university, just to make sure that there is continuity of what I'm doing. Long after I am tired and unable to work. Yes.
Okay, based on what you've seen, the kind of kids you handle, what message would you have for men, what message would you have for women, and what message would you just have for people outside there in general?
Wow, children have been given unto us like a gift from God, and we should be there to embrace, to love them, to take care, because one day, one time, we shall be asked by God to give an accountability of the children that were brought to us as our own, as fostering children, as even also children that were brought to us to take care. So there is one time that we should be asked an accountability of the same children. So we should be so conscious on taking care of our children, love them, let them realize that they were created with a purpose. It wasn't a mistake that they came onto this world, but God knew that they were coming, and God put sufficient provision for each one of them, and God, of course, has a purpose for each one of them, and therefore we should let them become children, take care of them, and love them, just like God loves children. So children are a blessing and a gift from God.
Yeah. If anyone wants to support Nuru Children's Home,
yes,
where will they reach you?
Well, I have my contacts. Am I allowed to give it right now?
Yeah.
It is 0723 157 894. So you can reach us direct line 0723 157 894. And also, besides, we have a Facebook page. We also have a Instagram. We are on Instagram. We are also on TikTok as Nuru Children Home in Athi River. So everyone is welcome. I would like to just welcome everyone who wishes to support us, either by kind, either by prayers, any kind of support is well appreciated. It goes a long way to support these little children. We have 86 of them right now, from the ages of 2 months to 23 years, the ones that are in university. And we will really appreciate partnering with people who are like-minded again, to be part and parcel of this noble cause. We welcome everyone on board.
And what are your visiting hours?
We are open 24/7, you can imagine, all round. And mostly people turn up at daytime, but we can't just say that we don't welcome anyone who came late in the evening. They'll find their soldier at night. And even in the morning hours from 6 a.m. we are right here to 8 p.m. we shall right be here. But after that, then let nobody feel that they've been left out. There is our guard, just to check up on anything that is happening in our compounds.
Okay. So I have also got an opportunity to meet the matron of Nuru Children's Home, Mrs. Ruth Joshua. How are you?
I'm fine.
Unaendelea aje?
Naendelea salama kabisa.
Umekuwa hapa kwa muda gani?
Niko hapa kwa 2 years.
2 years. Wewe ndio unaangalia watoto wakiwa wagonjwa?
Mimi ndio naangalia watoto, nalala na watoto, na waosha. Na wasafisha kila kitu.
Watoto wako hapa wote ni wakuoshwa?
Ni tuseme kutoka wa 2 years, 3 years na 5 years.
And how can you describe the kids? Ni watoto wa aina gani hapa?
Tuseme kuna wengine waongeangi, wengine tulileta wasichana na vijana wenye waongeangi wajielewi kwa kabisa. Ninawafulia nguo, ninawaosha. Hivyo tu.
Lakini sasa hivi wameanza kuongea.
Sasa hivi wameanza kuongea. Na ninawafunza saa nyingine hata kufua.
Na sasa umeniambia hii ndio dom ya boys?
Hii ndio dom ya vijana.
Ni kitu gani unafikiria Nuru Children's Home inahitaji kabisa kama mtu anakuja kusaidia, aanze na nini?
Chenye nataka mnisaidie nayo, domu yetu ni kidogo, ningepata domu kubwa kidogo ningefurahia. Na juu watoto ni wengi na wanalala kwa hii domu na ni kidogo, nikipata domu kubwa naweza furahia sana.
Na classes ziko sawa?
Na classes bado ni kidogo.
Mko na grade?
Tuko na PP1 na PP2 na praying group na grade 1 na grade 2.
So wakitoka hapa mnawapeleka shule za nje?
Wakitoka hapa tunapeleka shule za nje.
So guys, you've heard they need an expansion of infrastructures from the dormitories they are using. Tumesikia it's only boys ndo wanalala huku, and then the classes are also very few and they need modern structures. So if you need to help, you can help them build in those infrastructure. It would be good. So I'm also going to find one of the children who are being housed in this children's home. We have a very small conversation. Habari yako?
Nzuri.
Unaitwa nani?
Alice.
Alice. Jina ya pili?
Ndonge.
Alice Ndonge. Sasa uliingia huku ukiwa na miaka ngapi?
Nikiwa grade 7 hivi. 7.
Ulifika hapa aje?
So by the time I lost my father, so my mother decided also to abandon me. So I was brought here by the police.
By the police?
Yes.
Ujaona mama yako kutoka hiyo time hadi leo?
Yes.
And how has life been to you tangu ingia hapa ndani?
Life here is easy. Na usi kama vile ulikuwa unaishi na babako. Unacheza na wenzako, kuna furaha. Hakuna mtu mwenye anaweza wanaweza kufanyia vile wazazi wako walikufanyia. They are loving.
They are loving. Inamaanisha ukiwa na mama yako uko na furaha?
Sikuwa na furaha juu pia ni kama tu alikuwa anataka tu kuniabandon juu alikuwa ananionyesha, ananipiga, anaanza kuniambia mambo mabaya yenye mtoto hafai kusikia.
Uko na siblings?
Yes.
Au wako na mama yako?
Ni ule mtoto mdogo sana, sister, ni mdogo. Niliacha by that time ni mdogo.
Na kwa nini unasema ni kama mama yako alikuwa anataka kukuacha?
Alikuwa anashinda kunichapa, ananiongelesha vibaya. Yaani anakupea matusi zingine unasikia kweli hakutaki. Na kisha by that time akaenda kuambia, by that time akiniacha, aliniacha peke yangu na akaenda.
Alikuacha kwa nyumba?
Yeah.
Hujamuona kutoka hiyo time hadi sasa, hata hajakutafuta?
Hajanitafuta, nimekuwa tu huko.
Sasa ni nini ambacho unafikiria unahitaji kabisa ukiwa huko yenye haiko?
Yenye haiko? Chenye hakiko huku.
Mama, mko sawa?
Chenye tunahitaji huku, tunahitaji kiwanja mkubwa, yaani pali pia tutakuwa na madoms mingi, classes mingi za hawa watoto wanaishi hapa, za grade 2 hizo, classes mingi. Pia tuexpandiwe doms, girls hawalali hapa, so pia girls wakuwa wanalala kiujumla hapa.
Girls wanalala wapi?
Girls wanalala pale juu, pali tuliekwa hapo. Juu hatuwezi lala hapa, ili small piece na serikali haijaitekea wasichana na wavulana walale kwa hii kidogo.
Asante. What is that one quote that keeps you going?
That one quote that keeps me going is, there is a reward by the end of the day, and God sees what we do and He doesn't take it for granted. So what you do, it is not in vain. God in heaven keeps track of everything that has been done, and especially for the children. And one day, one time, God will repay.
Okay, it is a story of a heart of gold. Somebody who picked 10 sweet kids, started a children's home. Today it is so big. So any kind of support you have, you can forward it to her number she mentioned. It's going to be passing through your screen. Until next time, bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching us. Karibu sana Nuru.
Wow.
Thank you so much, dear. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time also.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Asante.
Thank you for accepting our interview.
Midea TV, spilling the tea, setting the trends.